Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There it is, so you don't miss any of our football content this season. It has been, if I might say, fantastic. If you're ever injured, check out Morgan & Morgan. It's America's largest injury law firm, and they are there for you. Over 100 offices nationwide. Think about that. More than 1,000 lawyers with over $20 billion, that's a B, $20 billion recovered for over 500,000 clients. Things happen in life unexpectedly. Submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is really, really easy. Like winning in the NFL is hard. We know that quarterbacking in the NFL is hard. Submitting a claim is easy. You're ever injured? Check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Colin or dial pound law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting for you to get a full and fair compensation if there's an unexpected accident in your life. And I've had a few. Well, instant reaction on the Broncos at home as a favorite, winning 41-32, 3 picks, 2 pick sixes against Jameis Winston. With the Broncos win, Bo Nix is now the first quarterback ever to go 6-0 as a favorite in his rookie season. So, and I look at them now, they're 8-5, Denver in the 7th seed. They get a bye, perfect time for a bye to get healthy, awful win in a good mood. And then they host a Colts team that can struggle to move the football. So this was my pick for the most underrated team in the league, the Denver Broncos. It was not just Sean Payton, but of course Sean Payton was part of it. He's a great coach. Take out Andy Reid. I mean, honestly, take out Andy Reid. Who's the best coach in the league? Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's having, every few years a rough year. So Sean Payton in one season turned around the worst franchise maybe in my life, the New Orleans Saints. And he's doing it, in year 2 with the Denver Broncos, 8-5. What's interesting is I want to talk about Jameis Winston. Jameis is a combination of a multitude of things. He doesn't have great judgment, but he's wildly talented. Throws a beautiful football. He threw almost 60 times tonight. 2 pick sixes, and he makes bad throws. He's a combination of consistently productive but inconsistent. There's not many people like him. If he was a baseball player, he'd be like Adam Dunn or Dave Kingman, home run or strikeout. But I've always liked watching him play because he'll always do something. He's just incredibly entertaining to watch. And he's got a weird personality, but players like him. He's probably the best quarterback in the NFL that I would never build around. But if he's a backup, he's the best backup by a mile in the league, by a mile. Jameis Winston is a little like that bachelor party in Vegas with the guys. It's a lot of fun, but there's going to be some really bad judgment, and you'll probably end up regretting it. That's Jameis Winston's career. He is a good time, but you look back and think, what were we thinking? That was a little dangerous. I wouldn't do that again. And he's a little bit the opposite of Bo Nix, whereas Bo Nix, I think, has great judgment, has a lower ceiling, actually is more athletic than Jameis Winston, doesn't quite have Jameis's arm. But again, on that final drive, the comp to Drew Brees is so perfect. On that final drive, Bo Nix, 4 of 5, 58 yards, sets up for the field goal. They take the lead. Couple of big throws to Cortland Sutton. By the way, Bo Nix now has 2 fourth-quarter comebacks this year. How many does Aaron Rodgers have? That, by the way, is more than Herbert, Allen, Russ, Rodgers, Burrow combined. So and the other thing, did you see Sean Payton regularly, 2 different opportunities, having him drop back in the end zone with a good Cleveland pass rush? So Sean Payton trusts his judgment. When I see Bo Nix play, what I see is confidence. I mean, he had a pick down the field. He's not a dink and dunker. He'll throw the ball down the field, plays with a ton of confidence. And just the way he throws the ball. I saw him play in college twice live, 10, 15 times on TV, minimum. And I honestly feel like his arm is better as a pro. Is it the altitude in Denver where everything travels further from a golf ball to a fly ball to a pass? It just looks like his arm is just a little bit stronger than it was in college. And, I just, when I watched Denver, I said this in the offseason, they've got too many good players. Even the receiving core. Mims, Franklin's got some talent. Cortland Sutton I've liked forever. Their running backs are capable. Bowles is an elite left tackle. They ran the football tonight. There's just not a lot I don't like about him. It's a quarterback coach league, and they've got weapons. They've got a pass rusher. They got a left tackle. They got a coach and a quarterback. We say this all the time. Remember when the Rams surprised everybody last year? And I said, McVay, Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, like if you have the coach, the quarterback, weapons, a left tackle, and a pass rusher, you're going to be good in this league. And so they check a lot of boxes. And I think Bo Nix having so many college starts, he's just ready to play. Now, we may be seeing his ceiling. This may be it. But if this is it, you can get to a conference championship with this, with Sean Payton's coaching. And remember, this is probably the leanest roster Bo Nix will ever play with. They're going to have Russell Wilson's cap hit is still part of the equation, but it's much lower next year. And after that, you're home free. So, I'm looking at Bo Nix on third down tonight, 7 for 11, 156 passing yards and a touchdown, throwing from the end zone, final drive to win it, fourth quarter come from behind, excellent on third down. They got their guy. And so, I was thinking about that today, like, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield can both play out of that recruiting class. Bo Nix can play. Drake May can play. Caleb Williams has real talent. Jaden Daniels can play. The hit rate on first-round quarterbacks, to me, feels like it's going up. Even Mac Jones, who was a miss, had one good year, right? Like even the misses these days feel like they can play a little bit. So I think kids come in more mature. I think they come in with a lot more snaps and special tutoring. And so, we're just getting a lot of hits in this quarterback class. And I still think J.J. McCarthy, I know it was just preseason, but he looked good. And Michael Penix, I think, is going to be behind that Atlanta offensive line with Drake London and pretty good running game. I think he's going to be fine. So 41-32, I wrote a couple of notes here. When you look at the Cleveland Browns, one of the things I think is such a strength of the NFL, that Deshaun Watson contract is the worst in the history of the league. There's no doubt about it. But yet, teams can go find a Baker Mayfield on his third or fourth team, a Sam Darnold, a Jameis Winston. The quarterback coaching is better, right, than ever. Guys are rehabbing. Geno Smith could win the division. I mean, you're just seeing so many second and third acts. And I think a lot of that is quarterback coaching. There's so many good young coaches out there. I mean, we all thought basically Geno Smith was done. I'm watching him spin it. Jameis Winston, I thought was done like 4 years ago. He was such an odd bird. But I love to see when these young quarterbacks hit. And I can remember before the season, I had talked to, I think it was Mark Sanchez said to me, he said, don't be surprised if Bo Nix has the best season as a rookie. He said, Caleb, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels have defensive coaches. So it's going to depend on the coordinator. The sensibility of the franchise is going to be in Denver, highly efficient and very aggressive offensively. It's like a constant tutor with Sean Payton. He said that's going to be such an advantage, plus the 61 college start. So I think it was Mark Sanchez who told me that. He said, Bo Nix is going to pop. It's going to take him a few weeks, which it did. First couple of weeks, the game's fast. But I think Denver's a real team. And again, it goes back to components: coach, quarterback, pass rusher, weapon, left tackle, elite corner. Those check all the boxes. This is, to me, Denver could absolutely, even as a road team, go win a playoff game. Can they win 2 in the AFC? I don't know if they can, but they can win a playoff game. No doubt in my mind. And I think, it's this year, is it me or have the standalone games been really, really good this year? When the schedules came out before the season, I noticed the Amazon Prime games. I thought it was the best Amazon Prime games. And I basically look at a game and think, is there at least one elite quarterback? If it is, I'll watch. And we've had some really good standalone games on Sunday night, Monday night football, Thursday night football. Speaking of quarterbacks, I was thinking about this yesterday. I think Bryce Young now over the last 5. If you go to the last 5 games, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, if you'd never seen him play before, you could argue Bryce Young is every bit as good or better than C.J. Stroud, and he's working with a lot less. So again, the quarterback coaching, these guys come in with more snaps. Not everybody hits at the same pace. Sean Payton and Bo Nix were ready to be really good really quickly. Caleb Williams in Chicago is going to take some work. They got to get the right coach. But Broncos are 8-5, another win, a bye. They host the Colts. And I think it's a team capable of winning the playoffs. Because, this year, the one team in the AFC which doesn't appear to have any flaws is Buffalo. Kansas City is pretty shaky offensive tackle. And the receiving core is in, a group in the making. Baltimore, bad on the back end. Justin Tucker now a liability at kicker. Chargers not dynamic enough at playmaker. Now they got running backs banged up. So everybody feels like they're just a little off. Buffalo is the exception. So to me, Denver can play with anybody outside of, I wouldn't trust them to go to Buffalo in a cold weather game and win. I think they get outmanned there, but I think they could go to Pittsburgh. I think Bo Nix is better now than he was 2 months ago. I think they could go to Pittsburgh and compete. 2 really good defenses. The offensive coach against Mike Tomlin, that's a little bit of an edge. Playing as an underdog. Pittsburgh's great as an underdog, not as great as a favorite. I think Denver could go to a Pittsburgh and win a playoff game. Wouldn't be favored, probably be a 3 or 4 point dog. But again, Sean Payton is an underdog. Bo Nix has shown late game expertise. It's a real team. Thursday Night Football is on. It's only on Prime Video. Best season yet, packed with big rivalries and even bigger stars. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung every week. Games you can't miss. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with football's best party. TNF tonight, Thursday Night Football tonight. If you're not a Prime member, no problem. Sign up. 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime. Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. And throw this out there. Rookie quarterbacks against Jim Schwartz, the Browns coordinator, entering tonight. We're 8-18-1. And Bo Nix beat him. It's a real thing, man. My herd hierarchy. I have to send my herd hierarchy. And I think Denver's going to be. I think there's only 4 teams I feel can win the Super Bowl today: Philly, Detroit, Kansas City, Buffalo. I think Pittsburgh's close, and I think Green Bay is really close. Denver's going to make the herd hierarchy somewhere. Tune in tomorrow.